Hey, Jimbo, you ready for this deal?
Cock your hammer, Cody.
Hammer's cocked, baby.
Old stories like long lost friends, rodeos and late night bends, history before our time, round pens and pasture rides, cowboys of the Osage.
Howdy, friends and neighbors. Time once again for the Cowboys of the Osage podcast with your host, Jimbo Snively and Cody Garnett. Now let's sing a little bit about it. Cowboys of the Osage, riding once again. Always got some time for a friend. And here they are, the Cowboys of the Osage.
Howdy, everybody. Welcome to another edition of the Cowboys of the Osage podcast, brought to you by the Ben Johnson Cowboy Museum, the Buck and Flamingo Turquoise Shop, both located in historic downtown Pawhuska, Oklahoma. Oh, yeah, we have one more, too. Shorty's Cowboy Hattery and the historic stockyards over there in Oklahoma City. She makes one of the best hats going. Totally handmade. They're great. I love mine.
That is a good-looking hat.
Jimbo don't have his yet. He's kind of jealous of mine, but
yeah,
hopefully
that is pretty.
Hopefully, Shorty and Bobby get him one pretty soon. And I do got my handy-dandy leather cover that Vic Carmen made me. He's got my brand right on it. And
Vic's going to come see us in June sometime.
I'm going to consider Vic a sponsor too. We both have a leather-bound cover deal.
Right.
Thanks for the sponsorship, Vic Carmen Leather Shop.
Yeah.
Get a hold of Vic for all your leather needs. Get them ordered by Christmas. I know it's just June, but Christmas is right around the corner.
There you go.
6 months.
I know.
6 months.
Believe it or not.
It still seems like spring to me, Jimbo.
I know. I'm not ready for summer.
Well, anyway, it's old Cody here, and as always, I have my main man with me, Mr. Rodeo historian himself, Jimbo Snively. What do we got going on today, Jimbo? This is a little different than everybody's kind of used to watching.
Hey, Cody boy, it's a great day in Osage, and man, we got it going on. You know, June the 12th through the 15th is the biggest thing going in Osage County every year. And it's just getting bigger and bigger. The Ben Johnson Days with the trade show and all that, and the ranch rodeo, and then the 71st annual Ben Johnson Steer Roping. It's just amazing how it's grown. And we're going to talk about all that and a few other things. I've got a little history.
Well, it used to be pretty big back in the day itself.
It used to be big too, but now it's all coming together. Several different things, along with the steer roping, and it's just awesome. It's just a big week here in Osage County.
There's a lot to do.
A lot to do, and a lot to see, and we'd recommend anybody come see us. We'd love to see you.
When did Ben Johnson Week start here in Osage County, Jimbo? For the Ben Johnson Steer Roping.
Well, 54 was the first year.
1954.
Yeah.
And we've had it every year except for
And back then, all they had was, of course, they had the cattlemen's on Saturday, and they had a barbecue the Friday night before up at the country club, and then they had the cattlemen's, and then they had a calf roping.
I saw where they had a calf roping and a ranch horse sale along with it.
I don't remember the ranch horse sale, but they had a big calf roping the Saturday night before the Ben Johnson, and so many of those early steer ropers roped calves too. I mean, you had Jim Bob Altizer, Olin Young, Sonny Davis. Those guys always entered. That was a tough calf roping. And then you had your locals too.
And then at the end, after they did away with the calf roping, didn't they start having a qualifier roping for the Ben Johnson sometimes?
Yes. There was a few years there where they had a Saturday qualifying roping.
Some big names entered it too. I read Joe Beaver was in the qualifier roping and a bunch of others.
I roped in. I won second one year in the qualifier, and but it was a big deal. But it's just getting bigger and bigger. Like I say, you've done great with it. I mean, you took control of it kind of and really grew it.
Well, we've done a lot of hard work, but we got a great committee that helps me out, Jimbo.
Yeah, you don't do it by yourself.
The guys that run the ranch rodeo, they do a great job. The Zebel family.
Yeah.
I don't even have to worry about anything during the ranch rodeo, because they got it all handled.
You can just walk around and be Cody, can't you?
That's right. And I got old Don Reno, got some good bucking horses coming. Probably buck them through the roof. He's got a lot of national finals horses. Lives right down the road. And then, sorry about that.
It wouldn't be a podcast if your phone didn't ring.
Right. Every podcast, I think I get a phone call.
Right. But yeah, I can't wait. It's like I say, they've got Yellowstone going to be with us this year too. Forey Smith.
Oh yeah, I about forgot about
Yeah,
that.
I know it. I mean, how cool is that? Biggest thing to hit Western world in years. Yellowstone.
I'm gonna do my best Forey Smith impression right now. Hey, everybody, it's old Forey here. Come see me at the Ben John.
Sounds pretty good.
Sounds like he's just fighting to get a word out. Really,
Yeah, I know it.
It hurts his throat real bad to talk.
Yeah. He's got that old Western drawl.
He does. He's definitely. You know, if I was to pick someone to bring to hang out with everybody from Yellowstone, I would have picked Forey out of everybody that was on the show.
Yeah.
Except maybe Beth. I don't know.
Yeah.
But
everybody liked Forey though. You know, he was just a likable character. Old Lloyd.
yeah, he's definitely a fan favorite.
Did he have a last name on that show?
I'm sure he did. We're going to have to ask him.
Lloyd's all I remember.
We're supposed to be doing a live podcast during the afternoon before the Ranch Rodeo with him right on the stage. Jake, the band's playing on that night.
Right, cool.
Well, let's get to this calendar of events and tell everybody about it real quick, Jimbo.
Okay.
So, like Jimbo said, it starts on June the 12th. And our very own Chamber of Commerce here, for years and years and years, they've kicked off Cattleman's Week, Ben Johnson Week, with a party. It's called Uncorked, and you can about imagine what they're uncorking there, bottles of wine left and right.
Yeah, probably.
They got I think they have a fashion show. I think they have an art show along with it, and it is a big party. It's at the Ag Building out at the fairgrounds, Osage County Fairgrounds. No, it's at the casino this year.
Oh, cool.
They're having it over at the casino. It's going to be a big party. So anybody that wants tickets, if you're going to be in town on June the 12th, all you got to do is go to Pawhuska Chamber of Commerce. They have a QR code to buy tickets, and you won't regret it. I've been to that party many times and had a
It's
heck of a
pretty
time.
cool. I went
Jimbo.
one time, but it was real hot. They had that side. Remember that up here?
Yeah, when
That
we
first
about all
time.
melted that day.
Yeah, that was a hot booger. But it's going to be in the casino.
Now they got it in an air-conditioned, climate-controlled facility
Yes.
that you can go to the casino when you're done.
Yes.
I tell you what, that casino, I went and ate there a couple nights ago, and it's pretty good food. They
I've
got
heard
an
that.
Oklahoma smash burger in there, and it's
I've heard
the
it's
bomb.
good. I haven't ate there yet, but I've heard it's good.
And you know, I want to also touch right back on the casino here in town. We have a brand new casino. Pretty sure all the rooms are sold out for the Ben Johnson.
Because the Indian dancers are going on too, aren't they?
Yep, and you can get rooms over at the Bartlesville Osage Casino. It's just right between Bartlesville and Pawhuska here.
The way
About
they've got that highway now, it's 20
15
minutes.
miles
yeah,
or so?
15 minutes.
It's nothing. So if you're looking for a great place to stay, be sure and hit Osage Casino Bartlesville. If you can't find a place in Pawhuska, they're one of our main sponsors. They're helping us bring us the Ben Johnson this year, the Osage Casino, the Osages, and we just love the Osage Casino over there.
Absolutely.
And I tell you what,
They support the community too. you
they
know.
support the community, but if you got an afternoon and it's a hot weekend, check their pool area out. I'm telling you what, that thing is impressive.
Wow.
You know, they got cabanas around it, and it's just a fancy. I wasn't expecting the pool area to be that good.
Right.
So if you're coming to town, be sure and hit that Osage Casino. They got good food. They got good people working there. The rooms are nice. The pool's great. And if Pawhuska's sold out, try the one in Bartlesville. It's just 15
The
miles. down
slot
the road.
machines are loose too.
Yeah, they are. Yeah, they are.
I've heard. I don't know.
Well, I don't know nothing about it, Jimbo.
Yeah.
I've been in there a few times.
I have too. It's a nice place. It really is.
Real nice place. I just, well, anyway. You ever known a guy that just can't gamble a little bit?
Yeah.
Don't get
I've
any
known
thrill
a few.
out of
I've
it.
known a few.
Well, it has to be devastating loss for me to even get any kind of thrill out of it. So I've just
I
quit
hated
going
it.
in them in Oklahoma.
I had it explained to me one time. And I like to bet a lot of football. I play the football games, you know, during football season. You have to bet enough that it hurts when you lose to get anything out of it. You know, if you just bet $10 on a game, that, you know, you might as well be mowing the yard.
Yeah.
But, you know, but
Can't even go buy a candy bar and a Coke down at the
Right.
gas station for $10
so you have to bet
nowadays.
enough where it kind of hurts.
Well, anyway, we sure appreciate the Osage Casino. Thanks for stepping up. Thanks for being one of our major sponsors, bringing Ben Johnson Days to us this year.
Right, you bet.
So that Thursday night on the 12th, you got the big party, Uncorked. They're going to be popping bottles left and right, looking at art. I don't even know what goes on there. Goes on to the wee hours of the morning.
Well, you've always been drinking probably, and you don't remember everything.
Well, that's happened before. Made some memories.
Right, for other people, like as you always say.
Ooh, it ain't like I hadn't said that a time or two, Jimbo.
Yep,
But you got to tell on yourself sometimes.
right.
Yeah. I've had so much fun in the past, Jimbo, doing different things. But I don't remember much of it.
Well, somebody does. Somebody got a kick out of it.
Yeah, for sure. And then the real action starts on Friday the 13th. Lucky Friday the 13th. That's what I'm going to call it this year. We got a new event at Ben Johnson Days this year. We've never had it. Ranch Horse Association of America. They're going to have one of their qualifiers here starting at 9 o'clock in the morning on Friday the 13th. And the winner from here gets to go to their World Championships in Abilene, Texas at the big Western Heritage Days over there in Abilene. We've never had a ranch horse competition like this during the Ben Johnson.
What are they going to be doing? Do you know?
Yeah, they have to box a cow, rope a cow, and then I think they have to do some dry work on their horse, show them off a little bit, do a little reining pattern on them. And I'm expecting some good horses to show up to this deal.
Right. Is it going to be a lot of local horses, or is they coming in?
Well, it's we sanctioned it through their association, so anybody from the U.S. that's a member of their association can enter. So, we got some top horse trainers in the area, and I look forward to seeing some good ranch horse work happen first thing, first rattle out of the box Friday morning.
Right.
And then also on Friday at 10 a.m., Jimbo, at 1 p.m., I'm sorry, not 10 a.m., the action really gets started. The trade show doors open. The ranch horse show is going to be going on. The trade show this year is unbelievable, Jimbo.
Just gets bigger every year, doesn't it?
Just gets bigger every year. This year, we had a problem with it, major problem. But also in the same hand, it's the best problem we ever had. We sold out. We sold out of vendor spaces. There's 60 or 70 vendors bringing their wares, handmade cowboy goods, antique collectibles, bits and spurs, stuff like that. There's going to be some boutique items there. But pretty much our trade show, we've named after a local legend around here, old John Israel. We call it the John Israel Cowboy Trade Show, and it's in honor of John himself, which you knew John, I knew John. He was a very special person in the Western world, in my opinion.
We lost him within the last year.
Yeah. So we named the trade show.
We're out there at the trade show. Won't be the same quite, but
no, they're supposed to be sending his car and trailer out there just for everybody to remember him, and his family's going to be there. And yeah, he's came every year. We named this Cowboy Trade Show after him 5 years ago, and this is going to be the first year he's not there.
Right.
John Israel, if you're not familiar with him, he's a legendary Western figure, bit and spur maker. He won the Oklahoma Amateur Cutting Horse Association twice back in his day. Probably one of the best respected horsemen in our area. Heck, even made the cover of Western Horseman back in the day, Jimbo.
Yeah.
We got it on display over there.
Yeah. Oh, they broke the mold when they made him.
Yeah.
For sure.
I mean, I've been around a lot of people and I've been a lot of places, and usually there's one bad apple in the crowd that, has something not nice to say about a guy or something.
Not about him. No.
I've never heard that about John.
And you never heard him say anything bad about anybody.
Nope, he was a great guy. Soft-spoken guy,
Yeah.
but a good dude.
Yep.
Just all-around good guy. He's going to be very missed, old John.
Yep, for sure.
But there's all kind of stuff for sale. The trade show's sold completely out. Erica, that's over the trade show, has done an extremely good job putting it together and growing it. And it's going to be a good one. I mean, anything you're looking for, they're going to have. Saddles, spurs, tack, anything.
Right.
It's all the best stuff, handmade. Boots, hats,
Yep.
you name it, they're there. If you're looking, get to the trade show.
Pearl Snap's going to be there, isn't he?
Yeah. Sean Williams, Pearl Snap Fever with his Shap Company. He's going to be there. and his wife's going to be there.
Yeah.
I'm sure everyone's seen him and seen his cowboy fashion reports.
Right.
I called him up the other day and asked him to do a little short, funny video for us, and I ended up sharing it on our page here, Cowboys of the Osage, and he did an imitation of me, and heck, I couldn't tell. I thought it was me.
I wonder how many people that don't know you real well think that was you.
Yeah. If you haven't seen it, go to the Facebook page and just scroll down, and you'll see a guy with long hair. It's actually his wife backed up to him, making him look like he has long
He's got
hair.
the fake beard with the rubber band.
Well, that's a memorial to a horse of his that died one time, and they saved the tail, and he had the tail hanging up in there, his favorite horse.
Well, good grief.
And he strapped it on his chin and made it look like he had a beard. So
It looked good.
it did. He did a pretty good job of it,
Yeah,
really.
he sure did.
That guy's,
He's
he really
funny.
cracks me up.
He's funny.
But he'll be there visiting with everybody, too, and selling his wares.
Yeah.
Books, caps, and
Shaft.
shaps. We're a family-friendly programmer. I
Yeah.
tell you the name of his shap company. It's Sean's City Caps, and you can put an S in front of that city and know what we're talking about.
Yeah.
The cittiest shaps to ever shed shrubbery. So I said city, everybody, just so you know. And then also at 10 a.m. that morning, Osage County Cattlemen's Luncheon Association. It's their annual luncheon and trade show. They have all the medicine people come out, and all the sale barns and feedlots in our area. They come out and they market to the cattlemen in our area. And it's a great steak lunch that they have right there at the Ag Building in Pawhuska.
Yeah.
Good time they've been having a long time.
Oh, yeah.
At one time, the cattlemen's did the whole weekend. So they're the saddle sponsor this year for the Ben Johnson Memorial Steer Roping. So
Cool.
we're real appreciative of those guys,
Right.
the Osage County Cattlemen's Association. Great association dedicated to charity and the advancement of the cattle market right here in Osage County. What do you know about the cattlemen's, Jimbo?
Well, that tour started, way before the Ben Johnson was even thought up, and it was a way that people would sell their cattle. They'd have them gathered up kind of in the corner, and all these buyers would come along in this kind of procession and look at everybody's cattle and would buy cattle that way. And now it's more of just showing their cattle off in their places, and it's really a neat deal. I went on it last year, went up to the Mondor Ranch where they finished and had the barbecue. It was really a cool deal.
This year, that tour ends up at one of the Reed ranches over here west of town, and
Yeah.
they said it's a beautiful location where they're going to have the luncheon this year.
I bet that Reed Ranch is a historic ranch. It started like the turn of the century. The old, I think his name was Phil Reed. And then he had a son named Phil, and he was the dad to Ronnie and Melvin.
Ron's Ranch is one of the few places that prairie chickens have came back and they're not extinct anymore.
Cody, when I was a kid, you would not believe how many prairie chickens there was around here. People would hunt them up at the Chapman Barn. They'd rig Jeeps up where they could drive across the prairie, and they'd have a place for the hunters to sit, and they'd just jump them up and they'd shoot them out of that Jeep. And just, there were thousands of them. They were everywhere, and I don't know what happened to them, whether it was weed spray or what, but they're just not there anymore.
No, I think they're almost extinct.
I don't know. But they used to be.
Don't get.
good.
I'm no animal expert or anything.
Right.
but
Well,
you don't hear about them very
I've
often.
hunted them, but mostly when we'd be up there quail hunting on the Chapman Barn in that prairie country, your dogs couldn't even work quail because they'd be up on the prairie trying to point a prairie chicken or something. They smelled kind of the same to them, and it was kind of aggravating for your bird dogs. They were always wanting to work the prairie chickens, because there were so many of them.
What's a prairie chicken taste like?
They're dark meat. They're not like a chicken. Mm-hmm. Not white meat like a chicken. They're dark meat, but they're good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I never had one.
Yeah. Well, you probably won't, as rare as they are now, but
Probably costs $300-400 for a prairie chicken sandwich nowadays.
yeah, and
Really.
jail time probably. No, I don't know if they still got a partial season on them or not.
Don't know.
I don't know.
It's just
They're sure not what they used to be.
no, they sure aren't. They sure aren't. And then on that same Friday 13th, I said 1 p.m. the trade show opens, and then that night at 7:30 p.m. is our first performance of the WRCA Ranch Rodeo. And that WRCA is quite the association. Jimbo.
Right.
It's the equivalent for the ranch rodeo guys to the PRCA or even the PBR. It's the only professional ranch rodeo association there is. And the winner from our event gets an automatic invite to the World Championships in Amarillo this November.
Right.
We
How
got
many teams do you have?
24 teams.
24 teams.
And there's a waiting list to get in now. This has turned into one of the premier ranch rodeos in the country. You know, the winning team won almost $20,000 last year.
That's crazy. They won more than the steer ropers.
Yeah, they did.
Wow.
Yeah, they did. Yeah, it was really something else. And, you know, we're ranch country.
Right.
And not to brag, but several of the guys that's won that Amarillo World Championships, it'd be interesting to see just how many teams between the youth and the men's have won it from this area, actually, the world champion.
Right. Several we know. We interviewed one the other day.
Yeah. Sooners have.
Yep.
Chris Potters have.
Yep.
The Steerwalds have.
Right.
And then last year, a junior team won it from here. And the year before, a junior team and the big teams won it from here.
Right. I know it. Crazy.
We got some good hands around here.
Well, yeah, for sure.
I mean, just stating the facts, Jim.
Yeah, why wouldn't it be? I mean, look at all the big ranches. This big ranch country.
But it's going to be a heck of a rodeo. It's got ranch bronc riding. It's got wild cow milking, stray gathering, sorting, and calf dragging, branding. It's got all the traditional ranch events in it. Plus, I added something new this year, Jimbo.
What?
We got the One Arm Bandit and Company coming every night to put on a show.
Wow.
15-time PRCA Act of the Year.
Yeah. That's how cool is that?
Yeah, I mean, if you haven't seen the One Arm Bandit show, you're missing out. It's going to be his daughter and his grandson coming because he's going to be out in California or something at another show.
Yeah.
But
It's the same act, though, basically.
the same act. We're going to take it into the indoor arena Friday and Saturday, and then they're going to be out in the outdoor arena. And they said they may bring 3 different kind of animals, maybe buffalo one day, longhorns one day, and something else one day. Zebra.
I hope it's not that boar pig. It like to gutted him.
Did you see that the other
Was
day?
that not awful?
Yeah, if you haven't seen it, go to the One Arm Bandits Facebook page, and they'd caught a wild hog, and I think they were feeding it out, and he was going in there to do something with it, and it turned on him and cut his leg up pretty nasty.
Man, just ripped a big old rip on the side of his leg, deep,
He's up in his 70s, too.
I know. Doesn't need to be wrestling no boar hogs.
You wouldn't know it by shaking that left hand, I'll tell you that
No,
right
that
now.
sucker's stout.
You think he'd have tennis elbow or something in it from all that
man.
whip cracking.
Yeah.
Anyway, 7:30 that night. First per for the Ranch Rodeo. It's going to be a good one. 24 of the top teams. Actually, we got them coming from Texas, Missouri, Kansas, Oklahoma, our area. They're coming from all over, and to try to win this one is probably one of the most. Well, if you get a belt buckle that says Ben Johnson on it,
Yeah.
that's pretty prestigious right there, in my opinion, Jimbo.
Yes, for sure. Yes, they're proud of that.
That's just the first 2 days of the weekend that we got planned. Saturday, June 14th, Jimbo, 8 a.m. They all meet up at the fairgrounds. They got a free breakfast. It's the Osage County Cattlemen's Ranch Tour. You were just telling us about it.
Mm-hmm.
It goes up through the Reed Ranch. This has been going over 90 years.
Right.
Started out as a way for cattlemen to sell their cattle and market their cattle and market their herds to different buyers.
Right.
And now it's just kind of a traditional event that more people than ever is going on.
Right. Right.
There's 100 and something cars in that thing last year.
Yeah, I was behind people, and they must have been from New York or something. They just couldn't believe the cattle. They'd have them hemmed up, and they'd just be taking pictures of them. They'd never seen a cow, I guess, that close or something. They were just fascinated by those cattle.
Yeah. Heck, we even had a reporter from the Western Horsemen come in last year, and we sent him on the ranch tour. He got a lot of great pictures of it.
Yeah.
And then he came back to the roping and stuff, and you're not going to believe this, or no one else is either, but Western Horsemen named Ben Johnson Days number 6 rodeo in the country to go watch. Number 6.
Number 6.
Out of all of them.
Out of all of them.
They had us on the list with Cheyenne Frontier Days, the College National Finals, the High School National Finals, Chief Joseph Days up in Oregon, We were the only one south of Nebraska
Wow.
that they put out there.
Well, how cool is that?
Yeah, number 6 rodeo in the nation. Ranked
Right.
number 6. Out of all of them, the big
Yeah,
boys.
out of all of them. Well, there you go. Get your tickets.
Get your
That's all
ticket.
you need to know right there.
Number 6 in the nation. We'll take it. So that morning on Saturday starts off with the ranch tour, 8 a.m. Leaves the fairgrounds at 9. 8 a.m. is the breakfast. Leaves the fairgrounds at 9 and goes through lunch. They end up at a beautiful ranch, get a nice lunch, and it's just a really good time. You meet a lot of good people, see a lot of good country, see a lot of fat cattle.
Yeah. Right. Boy, we've had the rain. The grass is big and green. We have some of the best grass in the United States right west of Pawhuska.
Yeah, we do. Like it's blue stem, isn't it?
Yeah. Big blue stem.
Big blue stem grass.
Yeah.
Well, it makes them fat, doesn't it?
Boy, it does. It's high protein, good stuff.
It's the good stuff. 10 a.m. that morning, the John Israel Cowboy Trade Show opens for the second day on Saturday for all your stuff that you want to buy. I've talked about it till I'm blue in the face, but it is a great trade show. It's one of the great Western trade shows out there. Anything you're looking for, they'll have it for sale there. 10 a.m. also. 10 a.m. is a very, very busy time that day. We have the Women's Ranch Rodeo, Women's Ranch Rodeo Association, their ranch rodeo. That's going to be our first rodeo champion crowned of the weekend right there. We also hold the Women's Ranch Rodeo Finals right here in Pawhuska. So their national finals, their world champions crown here, and a stepping point to get there is through Ben Johnson Days. And it's good watching. These girls are tough.
Right. For sure.
There's
A lot
some
of
good hands.
cowgirls.
Oh, I bet Becca's entered.
Oh, you know she is.
I bet Becca's entered.
She won something. I saw it on Facebook. She won something the other day.
Yeah, I think she won the top hand, maybe top horse, and the average at one down in southern Oklahoma
Right.
the other day.
Yeah.
But if you don't know who we're talking about, Becca Gagan, she's a hand.
Yep.
She's a hand.
We did a podcast with her too. You can go back and find it.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
Search.
Yeah, just search her up and you can know all about her. We did a podcast with her after she won the Art of the Cowgirl out there in Arizona.
Yep. Sure did.
That was a big one for them too.
Wow.
Anyway, the Women's Ranch Rodeo gets kicked off at 10 o'clock right with the trade show. They both open at the same time. Also at 10 o'clock the same day, different location, west of town at the Barkay Arena, the D.D. Kyler Memorial, Delbert Dean Kyler Sr. Memorial Steer Roping. Delbert was a good guy, and he deserves a steer roping named after him, and it's a big one. I think they got about 30 ropers in each division right now, and the books aren't even closed yet.
And about as pretty a location as you'll ever watch a roping to.
I'm going to have to say it's the prettiest. Nothing's ever compared to it to me.
Yeah.
You just go west of town, you follow the signs. If you need some directions, send us a message on Facebook. Maybe we can help you. But
Yeah. Yeah.
it's kind of one of them places you need to know where you're going.
Right.
But it's easy to tell
it's
someone how
easy.
to get there.
Right. Right.
They got signs and stuff up too
Yeah.
now, I think.
And now you can probably GPS it. I mean, you Google Maps now. Probably.
Yeah, it's
probably
about
easy.
15 miles southwest of town. It's one of the most beautiful ranches in the county and or country even. And the roping arena's set right down there amongst all the shade trees. Got a creek runs behind it. They got good cold beer. They got ribeye sandwiches.
You have to watch that Google Maps. So I gave somebody directions from our address from Barsville the other day to come to our ranch, and they had her going across two low water bridges when the creek was up. I mean, she said, I didn't know we was going to have to swim. Yeah.
Boy, the creek's been up around here.
Boy, it has.
Holy moly. Thankful for the rain, but
Yeah. And more coming this week, but I think we're going to be clear out just in time for that weekend.
yeah, I had them go seal the arena off today.
Oh, yeah.
Yep, almost 2 weeks out, but
Yeah.
we got a real good chance of rain for the next 2 weeks.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I said, we need to seal this sucker off, boys. They did it. Boy, howdy. 2 p.m. that day. Youth Ranch Rodeo, WRCA sanctioned. The winner from this one gets an automatic invite to the World Championships in Amarillo. And we've taken home the last 2 years right back here to Pawhuska, the youth champion. The last 2 years.
I know.
You remember that one kid we had on here that was part of the team?
That little bitty one?
What was his name? Creek or something like that?
It might have been. I can't remember. He was a talking little booger, wasn't
He was a good kid.
he? Yeah. Couldn't hardly get anything out of him. He's funny.
You go back and watch that one. That was a cute one. We
Yeah,
we did the world champion youth ranch rodeo team from this last year, and all the kids came in. And
Yeah.
they did have that one.
He wasn't big as nothing.
That one little sucker with him.
Yeah.
Boy, he was cute though.
Oh, he was. Yeah.
Might have been the best hand.
Might have been.
Might have been the best hand.
He might
in
have
the whole
carried
deal.
him.
Anyway, we got 10 youth teams. That's all we're taking because we got a lot going on that day. And if you haven't watched the youth WRCA, it's something to watch. And we're proud to have it, and we're proud to help our next generation of cowboys come up so they can compete for the big stuff. I mean, if we don't have the stuff for the young kids, how they gonna get to be a top hand when they get to be 20?
Right.
So we're just proud to have it. And, that's one of the main things we're about. It's the youth anyway. Everything we do, all the proceeds go right back to the youth.
Yep.
And, we're proud to do it. Yep. So 2 p.m., the youth WRCA starts. 4 p.m., we have a live interview. Me and Jimbo's doing a live interview with Forey Smith, Lloyd from Yellowstone, right there on the stage at the trade show.
Yep.
And
We're going to find out where the train station is.
we're going to find out exactly where the train station is. We're going to find out all kinds of stuff about this guy.
Yep.
Going to find out what a good hand he is. He's starting a new movie right around that time, too.
Really?
A Louis L'Amour movie they're filming
Oh.
up in Montana.
Yeah. Well, he just got the look, don't he? When you had, he just got the look. Well, they just hire him on looks alone.
Yeah, he got his start as a stuntman in Tombstone. Our good buddy Bobby McLaughlin helped him out with it a little bit.
Well,
So he's going to be fun to have around, and he's going to be there right after the interview. He's going to sign autographs, take pictures for a couple hours with everybody from about 5 to 7. And then he's actually going to be working in the arena helping out during the rodeo and the roping. So
cool.
he said, "Well, what do you want me to do?" I said, "Well, how about you be a pickup man since you're an old bronc rider?" And he called me back just the other day and said he was sure sorry, but he couldn't be a pickup man. He just got this new movie role and didn't want to get hurt.
No.
So I said, "Don't worry, we'll get you a wild cow milking run or something." Maybe you can help the bandit out.
Yeah.
Maybe they
Well,
can
they'd make a pair, wouldn't they? They
Boy,
ever got
howdy,
together?
they'd be getting booked everywhere. Forey and the Bandit.
Yes. That's kind of got a ring to it, even.
Yeah, I like it. I do like it. So we're going to have the live interview right on the stage with Forey from about 4 to 5. And then he's going to be signing autographs, taking pictures.
I've got a bottle of that whiskey I want him to sign.
Yep. Get a bottle of his bourbon, have him
Yep.
sign it.
Yeah.
He said he'd be more than willing to sign just about anything.
Yeah.
So bring a picture of Kevin Costner. Heck, he might sign it. Who knows? Yeah. We're excited to have him. I've been talking to him about every couple of days, and he's excited to come. So
Yeah, we're looking forward to that.
we are looking really forward to that, and it only makes sense. We're honoring a movie star. May as well have a movie star here to honor him too.
Yeah. I think we're starting a tradition for Ben Johnson Days, have a movie star.
Yeah, we had Barry Corbin here
Yep.
a few years ago, and he hung out with us, and
Yep.
he's a good guy. He's definitely a good guy.
Sure was.
And then 7:30 that night, the second performance of the Ben Johnson Days WRCA Ranch Rodeo, where it's an Amarillo qualifier. They go to the World Championships. We'll be crowning the champion of the weekend of the Ranch Rodeo that night.
Boy, Cody, with that much money at stake, they're going to be going.
How many days I got to work for a ranch to win them about $20,000?
You know,
That's a yearly salary.
yeah, they're not going to be holding anything back.
No, they're not going to be holding back. This is one to win. This is one everybody wants to win, Jimbo.
Yep.
And, well, I'm just wishing the best team luck,
Yep.
really.
Yep. May the best team win.
Hopefully if they're from around here.
Yep.
I'm stingy like that.
Oh, I know you're that way.
I'm stingy like that. And then 10 p.m., directly after the rodeo, right when the last wild cow milker milks their wild cow, Jimbo, Jake Hooker and the Outsiders, they're going to be playing all night long.
Man, if you like old Bob Wills type swing, Western swing music, he's the man.
You know, I don't even feel like you got to like Western swing to enjoy his music.
No,
It'll
no.
make you a Western swing fan
Yeah, it
once you
would.
listen to him.
Yeah,
He's part of the cow. He was inducted in the Texas Cowboy Hall of Fame. He's inducted in the Western Swing Hall of Fame. He's inducted into the Texas Rodeo Hall of Fame even. this guy's one of us.
Yeah.
He sings our kind of music, and it just doesn't get any better than a dance with Jay Cooker and the Outsiders.
Right.
They're a true dance band.
Right.
And we're just lucky to get them here for the second year in a row.
Speaking of Hall of Fame, I want to share something real quick. The nominees came out for the Hall of Fame down in Oklahoma City the other day, and the nominees are Chad Berger, Larry Allen Clayman, Joel Edmondson, Josh Edwards, Monty H.P. Evans, Jess Franks, Bobby Goodspeed, Larry Jordan, Gary Ledford, Tommy Purrier, Jim Thompson, and Charlie Throckmorton. So if you're a Rodeo Historical Society member, you need to vote. And not telling anybody how to vote, but Bobby Goodspeed, Gary Ledford, Jim Thompson, and Charlie Throckmorton were all
Who was one of them first ones on that list, Jimbo?
Chad Berger.
Chad Berger and who?
Larry Allen Clayman.
Okay.
Joel Edmondson, we know.
Joel?
Yeah.
Boy, he deserves to be in.
I know it. But
he's
like
a
I
true
said,
legend.
4 of those guys have been on our podcast.
And we're going to be doing Joel Edmondson pretty soon.
Yeah.
We've been talking back and forth.
Yeah.
He doesn't want to do one over the phone. He wants to come down and do one
we would
in
love to
person.
have him. I just want to throw that out there. It's time to vote for that, and that's what keeps it going with participation.
You know what's so cool I think about Joel Edmondson, besides being a world champion bulldogger? One time, Ronald Reagan had a rodeo, and I think it was in the backyard of the White House, actually, or something right around there. And Joel Edmondson won the steer wrestling they had there.
Yeah, right. Oh, he's a good one.
We need to talk to him
Good
a lot
guy.
about that Ronald Reagan rodeo. Really, really been on my mind for the last several years because it was such a unique thing. You know what I mean?
Right, for sure.
Speaking of rodeos, I just talked to a friend of mine who judged a big rodeo this last weekend, and he was at Nashville at the Music City Rodeo. Scott Fogg's his name, old saddle bronc rider. He gets us the prizes for the Ben Johnson days, actually. He's got a prize company. So if you need any good prizes, belt buckles, or saddles, get a hold of Scott Fogg. I think it's Epic Saddlery. They make good stuff. Anyway, he said that rodeo over in Nashville was really something. He said he expects it to turn into like a 10-day rodeo, and they're building a new football stadium out there in 2 years, and they're expecting to have the rodeo in this football stadium in 2 years. I mean, there's so many people walking up and down the streets in Nashville looking for stuff to do. And, some of the biggest names in country music combined, at the rodeo. I just see rodeo and taking a big step forward just with this Nashville rodeo.
I saw some pictures. I don't know how big a auditorium that was in, but there was a third level.
I think it holds 18,000.
It was full of people, too.
It holds 18,000. And it was packed. Scott said the cheapest ticket was $173 in the whole place.
Yeah.
It cost them $4 million to produce a rodeo.
Wow.
But they had a lot of big name entertainers. They had Reba there. They had Jelly Roll there. But
Wow.
I guess it was really something else.
It must have been.
I mean, have you been to Nashville lately?
I haven't. My wife's been a couple times.
The best way I can describe it is like Las Vegas with no gambling. And the arena sits right in the middle of the strip. It'd be like having the National Finals Rodeo
Where you could just walk to it from the
where
strip.
you can just walk from it
where you
to
can't
it from
do
the
that
strip.
in Vegas.
Yeah, you got to take a cab out there. I just see this rodeo getting huge,
Right.
huge through the years. It's going to it could be turned into one of our biggest rodeos that we have, honestly.
Bring
It
it
could.
on.
That's a long difference than Ben Johnson days, but
Yeah, well,
I don't even know what I'm talking about Nashville. We're supposed to be talking about Pawhuska here, but
still
what a
pretty
rodeo.
cool. Yeah, that's
What a
just
rodeo.
Good to see it coming on like that. That's got to be good for rodeo.
Yeah, they said that they're looking at turning it into a big one, like a 10-day event.
Right.
So if Las Vegas ever doesn't have the national finals after this rodeo, the only natural place for it is Nashville, honestly. Because can you imagine having the finals downtown on the strip?
Yeah.
They got a stadium right there where they play hockey and stuff, downtown right on the strip, but that would make a big difference, I feel like.
I know it. I don't know why they haven't, other than the time of year, like it's a football stadium out there in Vegas now. And they'd have to give up
No, they got a hockey downtown, big. I don't remember what arena it's called, but it's not outdoors. It'd be covered indoor hockey arena.
That's one I'm talking about, it's indoor.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, the new football.
Yeah,
Alliance
yeah.
Stadium. Well, that'd be a good place to have it for
Right,
sure. That'd be
right.
awesome.
But they'd have to give up a home game for that time of year, and that's something they're probably not going to do.
Yeah, I think a box seat costs $1 million there or some crazy thing. So they were eating steak, lobster, Don Perignon, everything there in the football boxes. They even had like a hot tub there
Yeah.
you could rent.
Yeah.
Watch the football game from the hot tub on the sideline. Yeah. It's crazy.
Crazy.
I wouldn't mind checking out that stadium, though, just to check it out.
I know it.
I want to go out to that Sphere, too.
I know it.
Check that thing out. I don't even care what show I watch in it. I just want to see a show
I
in
know.
the Sphere.
How crazy is that place?
Wow.
It just looks like it.
It's something that's never been done before.
I know.
I wonder if there's going to be any more Spheres pop up in the nation.
I don't know. I've heard that one.
They said Madison Square Garden out of New York City, Madison Square Garden Company, is the one that owns it and built it.
Really?
Yeah.
I heard it wasn't doing very good financially because it cost so much to build it and everything.
I got to think it sells out every day, though.
Well, it might,
If
but
you go to
it's
Las
still not gonna
Vegas,
be
that's got to
enough.
be one of the main places to stop.
You'd think.
I don't know. Anyway, we got the dance that night, 10 p.m. Jay Cooker and the Outsiders will have the awards banquet right there with it. We'll give everybody who won a championship throughout the weekend so far their award right there. We'll stop the concert for about 5 minutes, give out the awards, then get back to dancing, Jimbo.
Right.
All night long. So it's going to be a good time. It just doesn't get better than Jay Cooker.
Right.
It's rodeo time. Got to get our own.
He's
down
going
the
to shut
road.
down just in time. Doesn't he lead the church service or something?
Yeah, I was fixing to tell you. Sunday, June 15th. We're not done with the weekend yet. It goes all the way into Sunday. It's going to be a Bloody Mary morning over there. Everyone feeling real good from the Jake Hooker concert from the night before. But luckily, we're having a cowboy church service. Jake Hooker and the Outsiders. It's embarrassing to say, I don't go to church very often nowadays, but if Jake Hooker and the Outsiders were playing every day at my church service, I would be. It was such a great show there last year, Jimbo, and if you haven't been before, I highly, highly encourage it. They put on just as good a show with their church service as they do with the Western Swing the night before.
Wow.
It was just a great time, and just a really great show. They set up the whole band. Jake gave us a good message, and then the band was just spot on. They played some good hymns and stuff, and then they even threw in a couple of their top-rated songs there at the end just for everybody to enjoy right before the roping.
Yeah, I heard it was really cool.
Yeah, it was. You wasn't there?
No, I wasn't there.
I was horn wrapping cattle listening to it from down there.
Oh, yeah.
But, yeah, if you can, make it there by 10 o'clock in the morning on Sunday. Get over to the church service. You won't be disappointed. Guaranteed. And then at 11 o'clock, we roll in to our first event on Sunday, roping event. It's the kids' dummy roping is what it is. But we're going by Ben Johnson rules. Slick horns only. That's the only legal catch. We got 3 age divisions. It's 6 and under, 7 to 10. 6 and under, 7 to 10, and 7 to 9, 10 to 13.
That's pretty good watching too, especially when you bring them out in for the finals.
So yeah, when we get down to just 2 or 3 ropers in each age group, they got to wait to finish it off, and we have a rope off in the middle of the arena, in front of the whole crowd.
Right.
And these kids take it pretty serious, Jimbo.
Right.
They're all getting ready for it right now. They're all roping every day. They're all practicing the loop. I mean, 50, 60 kids enter it. Mm-hmm. And they're all trying to be the ones that get to go out in the big arena after the second go-round to compete for that buckle we're giving away. Ben Johnson Days champion dummy roper. Ben Johnson Memorial
It's getting to
champion
be a big
dummy
deal,
roper.
really.
It's getting to be a big deal. You know, there's been a lot of kids come up through that deal. Riley O'Rourke's won the dummy roping. There's been all kinds of guys that are roping in the roping that competed in the dummy roping coming up because, you know, this has been a long-standing tradition, 25, 30 years. And there's a lot of 25-year-olds out there, 30-year-olds that competed in the dummy roping that's competing in the Ben Johnson later on that day. Mm-hmm. So it's just another way we want to give back to our youth at the weekend because, honestly, that's what we're all about. There's nothing better to see as one of these guys that competed in the dummy roping that we see compete. Connor McNeil's another one that's competing in the big roping that afternoon. I mean, that's just a cool deal. And I think, a couple times we've even had a father-son combo winner where the son won the dummy roping. Chet Herron a couple years ago. His boy won the dummy roping. He won the big roping. The same with Cody Lee a few years ago. His son won the dummy roping, then he won the big roping. Just what a special moment.
How cool.
For a father and son to both win a Ben Johnson Memorial Championship. I mean, that's got to be some of the greatest memories that both of them even have.
Yep.
And it's even great memories for me because I like to see something like that. I love the storyline like
That's
that.
a crowd favorite, too. Everybody likes to watch it.
Yep. It is a crowd favorite. Also, between go rounds of the steer roping, we're going to be having wild cow milking. It's the Osage County Battle of the Osage. So it's only Osage County ranches. We got 10 of the snot-throwingest, mean cows you've ever seen. And we're going to have one long go round and a short go round of the wild cow milking in the big arena behind a 25-foot score.
Y'all always have some good cows.
Yeah.
The kind that they don't look through the fence. They stand flat-footed and look over the fence.
Yeah. I'm glad I'm not entering the cow milking this year, Jimbo, because I don't want any part of this deal.
No.
These boogers are going to blow. They're going to beller. They're going to blow snot. They're going to be spraying milk everywhere. It's going to be wild.
Right.
Just like the name says, wild cow milking.
Why they call it?
You remember a couple of years ago, we had a guy in the wild cow milking. He forgot to get a bottle. So he sucked the milk out of the teat and I'm trying to put it in a good way.
Right.
And he sucked the milk out of his teat with his mouth and he came back and spit it out and tried to get a time.
Yeah. Did Dixon give him time?
Well, he might have could have talked him into it, but I had to go in there and say, that's no time.
Yeah.
It's got to be in a bottle.
Right.
He said, well, you didn't give me one. I said, well, if you back up in the box without a picking string on your belt, you're not going to have anything to tie your steer either.
Right.
I said, that's nobody's fault but your own.
Right.
But it was good watching because when he finally caught that cow, got her milked, they were at the dead end of the arena, which is possibly one of the biggest arenas in the United States, way over 500 foot long, closer to 600 foot long. And he ran all the way back from the end of the arena to the roping box with that milk in his mouth. And all for nothing.
You call that cowboy try?
Well, that is cowboy try. I mean, I've seen guys tie steers with their belt before when they either forgot their picking string or they fell out.
Yep.
Some of these guys that carry one picking string, you see that picking string fall out quite a bit.
Who come up with the idea of just one picking string?
Well,
and why?
I guess just less to get in your way is what they're thinking, but I don't know how many times I've been trapped by the rope and my main string come out of my belt where I had to use my other string. So
even a calf roper, no calf roper ever carries a string in their belt now.
Well, they don't even have time.
Well, but I've seen it cost some money, you know, where they could place in a tie 1 and 12 or something. I saw a guy the other day went to string his leg and the string went way out there. And he was trying to reach for his string and hold the calf at the same time. And he ended up, if he would have had another string, he would have had time to win third or fourth.
Well, if they had an average situation, I see that.
Well, it's one of those one-night deals, you know, where they pay a 1 through 4, you know, 8 ropers or 10 ropers or something. It costs him money.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't understand it.
Well, it doesn't make sense, especially if there's an average involved, to not carry 2 strings. I'm not telling these guys their business, but, you know, especially in the steer roping world, I would highly encourage to carry 2 strings if in almost every steer roping out there is an average situation. So, I don't know.
Whatever.
They can do whatever they want.
They can do it.
I guess. Doesn't matter. I guess we're just old grumpy men.
I guess we are.
Back in our day, we carried 2 strings,
day, you
boys.
carried 2 strings.
Back in our day.
The cattle were big.
When I first started roping, cattle were pretty big. And then they got extremely small, and then they kind of put a little more size on them, which wasn't anything compared to when I first started. But anyway. And then noon that day. I'm not even done with that day yet. We still got more to talk about here, Jimbo. So we've talked about the church service. We've talked about the dummy roping. High noon, we got the introduction of the ropers, the Calcutta. If you don't know what a Calcutta is, come see us. It's a way to get involved, to cheer on your favorite roper, and maybe win a little money.
Yeah, it makes it more interesting if you got a little skin in the game.
It's pretty serious Calcutta, too.
Oh, yeah, it's not just for fun necessarily. But
Yeah, I mean, to even buy a dark horse is going to cost you in the thousands of dollars, but you can win in the thousands of dollars. Get you a few partners and get you someone bought.
Yeah.
You never know. Heck, a couple years ago, me and our buddy Alan,
Yep.
Alan said, "Oh, I sure like Cash Myers." I said, he said, "Let's buy him in the Calcutta."
Yep.
I said, "Okay." Well, after I got him bought, he said, "Well, I didn't mean for you to spend that much in the Calcutta." I said, "You said to buy him in the Calcutta. Now you're in for half, Alan." Yeah. "Oh, no, I didn't mean. How about I just take..." Well, long story short, guess who ended up winning the roping that day?
Cash Myers.
Cash Myers.
Yep.
So that was a good day for both me and Alan.
Yep.
I hadn't been able to talk him into playing in a Calcutta since then.
I know. I don't think his wife wants him to.
Let me bring up this list of ropers, Jimbo, that we got. Give me just a second. Find it on my phone. We got the top 30 in the world coming. 1 through 30's entered. And then we had a qualifier at Claremore's Will Rogers PRCA Rodeo for the other 10 slots at the steer roping this year. This is the 71st year for it. And we do got some names on here. Thomas Smith.
Local.
Number 4 in the world, though.
Right.
Didn't he win 6 go-rounds in a row at the finals here just a few years ago? Like a crazy amount of go-round buckles that he won. Maybe not 6. It may have been 3 or 4. But this guy always ropes good here. He's won second here a few times. And he is ready to win this. This is his hometown rodeo pretty much.
He's due to win it.
He's roping good, too. Yep. He's mounting good, too.
Yep. So
we'll see what that happens. Thomas was a true qualifier out of the top 30. Mm-hmm. We got guys like Pecos, Garnett. That's my nephew. He got in. He won second in the go-round at Claremore. We took the top 2 out of each go-round and the top 4 out of the average that weren't already in the top 30.
Right.
So Pecos won second in go-round. He got a berth into the Ben Johnson. We're proud to see him.
Yes, I can't wait to watch Pecos rope.
Here's another guy, Connor McNeil. Hometown boy. They just had a roping over at that arena the other day, and Connor won second in it.
Yeah.
This is one that he's going to be gunning to win and wanting to win. He's going to have a big crowd of family. He's going to be a fan favorite here.
His grandfather, Ellis, Cody, was a great supporter of steer roping. We used to have club ropings out there at his place out west of town.
I've done a lot of business with him, buying horses off of him and pipe off of him. And I remember that arena they had out there. That they had some club ropings in.
He was a great guy, Ellis Thomas.
Yeah, Ellis was a good one. That's Connor's grandpa, and boy, he would like to be here to watch Connor roping them.
Oh man, wouldn't he? Would he not be loving it? Maybe he is watching.
Here's a few more of our qualifiers. Some dark horses, I guess is what you'd call them. We got Ty Williams out of Sulphur. This kid's really impressed me the other day at Claremore, Jimbo. He placed in 2 go-rounds, placed in the average.
Sulphur, that's Joe Green country.
That's Joe Green country. His brother ropes pretty good. He's county commissioner down there. But Ty...
How come all them county commissioners down there in southern Oklahoma all bulldog or rope or do something?
I don't know. There's been a bunch of them.
I know.
Old Don.
Yeah, no.
Don Huddleston.
Gary Ledford, I think he's the county commissioner.
They just had his bulldogging this last weekend. Yeah. The Don Huddleston bulldogging down there. So Ty Williams, I'm going to tell you what, he'd be a good dark horse buy. This kid's sure liable to place in a go-round, and he roped all his steers at Claremore the other day, and he didn't take very many swings over them.
Yep.
This kid roped sharp. Dawson Tullis, another qualifier out of Claremore. He's looking pretty impressive, placed in a go-round. Laramie Allen, he's in the top 30 in the world. This guy is the real deal. I'm just going to go down the whole list if you don't care, Jimbo.
Okay.
This is one of the most impressive guys I've watched in the last several years as far as being a speedster, being one of the fastest guys going. He's definitely in the top 30. Dalton Walker, he's also in the top 30 in the team roping. This is one of the ropiest dudes you've ever seen, and he's fast. He's liable to win the fast time of the day. Be one of my picks. Slade Wood, national finalist. This kid, his dad, Neil Wood.
Neil.
His dad won Cheyenne Frontier Days 2 years in a row. His dad roped extremely well. His dad was fast. Boy, they took another step up with Slade Wood. This is a young gun. He's in the top 30 in the world team roping. He's in the top 10 in the world steer roping. He won the college world championship a couple years ago. Left straight from Pawhuska, flew up there, won the college championship. He's the real deal. He's real fast. He's one of the biggest names in steer roping right now.
Right.
David Witcher, Alan Witcher's boy, qualifier. This kid ropes good. He ropes solid. He placed in a go-round over there. I would call him an average guy. This is a guy I would look to maybe win you a check in the average if you're going to play in the Calcutta on David Witcher.
And he won't cost as much. That'd be good to buy.
Maybe. You
Maybe.
never know. It is
Yeah,
a
you
public
never know. It's
auction
a gamble.
when it happens. But David Witcher, he'll be a good way to hedge your bet, possibly get an average check. Did place in a go-round at Claremore the other day, and that was a super tough rodeo. Mm-hmm. So I'm looking for big things out of David. He's a good kid. He's an up-and-comer. Made it into the Ben Johnson. It's hard to get in this roping. Mm-hmm. Now here's a guy. Here's a guy that qualified you'd think would already be in, but he's been on the injured list. Rocky Patterson.
Yep.
World champion. I think he's won the Ben Johnson 3 times.
4-time world champion.
4-time world champion. Won the Ben Johnson 2 or 3 times. He's 60 years old, Jimbo.
I know.
And I watched him rope the other day. He tied 1 in 10, then he came back and tied another 1 in 10.
That's crazy.
Another steer didn't get up. He didn't look like he's lost a step at all. He just came off this knee injury. He looked like Rocky Patterson that's taken my money my whole life. Mm-hmm. And he's 60 years old. To me, that's just going to say he might rope a little smarter. Mm-hmm. So if he has a chance to win that average or something, he's going to go up there and take a good shot instead of tie him in 10. And Rocky Patterson don't miss very many.
Right.
Rocky Patterson don't miss up very many ties. He's a true legend. And this could be his last Ben Johnson, but the way he's roping, I doubt it's his last Ben Johnson. And I actually look for Rocky Patterson to win a little money.
Yeah.
He's roping so tough right now, Jimbo. He looks like the guy before he got hurt.
Yeah.
He looks like a guy that was roping 20 years ago.
He'd be another might not bring as much because of his age, and you could it might be worth the money.
I'm going to have to say he ain't going to be worth the money. Rocky Patterson.
Yeah, 60 years old, though, and he just coming off injury. He won't bring like those younger guys.
He's liable to, but, you know, watching Rocky Patterson rope when he's 60 years old is going to be about the same difference as watching Shote Webster and all those guys rope when they got older at this roping. You know, it's just, he's a legend, and he's probably the most accomplished roper in the field. I don't know if there's anything he hadn't.
Yeah.
Quite the roper right there. Pate Collins, a guy from Veneta. Last year he qualified for the Ben Johnson. He thought that he was already in it. Missed the books. Didn't get a rope last year. He won Claremore last year. Guess what he did this year? He won second at Claremore this year. Qualified for the Ben Johnson. He didn't forget to call in this year to the PRCA and enter. This guy's a pretty good roper, Jimbo.
Yeah, must be.
I haven't seen him rope that much, but he did win Claremore last year, and he did win second in Claremore this year.
Right.
So I think he maybe won second both years.
Yep.
But he's the real deal. He deserves to be here. He should have been here last year. It's going to be interesting to watch him at his first time here at the Ben Johnson Memorial Steer Roping. He hangs out with John Barnes and them over there. He's got some really good instruction. I mean, John Barnes, are you kidding me? Legendary roper. What do you know about John?
Oh, not a whole lot. He came on kind of before me, and then when I quit, he roped here at the finals, I know, 1 year in Pawhuska.
He sure helps a lot of young ropers
Yeah, he
out,
does.
too, with
He had
their
a boy
roping.
that roped good, you know.
You know, his philosophy on roping
He
is
worked
good.
up Chapman Barner. I remember that.
He's got a good philosophy on roping. What he does works. Mm-hmm. He helps the Pattersons out. He helped us Dawson Tullis out. He helps a lot of guys out back that direction.
Right.
And if you're looking to learn how to steer rope, I'd call John right now.
Yep.
He's produced several world champions out of his practice pen.
I remember watching him rope here at Pawhuska in 1971, I believe, at the finals here.
All right. Going on down the list, Coleman Proctor needs no introduction. This guy's been knocking on the door to make the steer roping finals. He's making special arrangements just to get here to rope because he's a team roper. Logan Medlin's his partner, and there's a lot of other places to be besides Pawhuska. Mm-hmm. But he said they've adjusted their schedule. Coleman's coming.
Is he going to fly over the arena and have somebody meet him out there to?
I'm going to ask if he wouldn't mind parachuting in. Really, that'd be nice. It'd be nice if Coleman would just parachute in.
Yeah.
Anyway, he's the world's fastest team roper. Got a bad flag a couple of years ago at the NFR. Should be holding the world record right now, but everybody knows it.
Yep.
They did a replay on it, and it was not a crossfire.
He's the unofficial world record holder.
He's the official, unofficial world record holder. That's what he is.
Yep.
But he's knocking on the door of the National Final Steer Open. He wants to make the Steer Open finals. He wants to win the Ben Johnson, one of the most prestigious ropings in the nation. So we're looking forward to watching him rope. We're wishing him good luck. And you know what? We're going to have an autograph page in the program that we're putting out, Jimbo. And I tell you what, most of these guys I'm telling you down this list, especially Coleman Proctor, if you see him out there, all you got to do is walk up to him, say Coleman or Mr. Proctor, whatever. You know, I'm a big fan. You might have an autograph, and he'll take time out of his day to talk to any kid or rodeo fan that wants to talk about it.
Right.
He's one of the nicest guys in rodeo.
Right.
Riley O'Rourke. This is my pick to win it, Jimbo. This is my pick. This is my pick for world champion this year, too. I think it's going to be a tight race between Riley O'Rourke, Vin Fisher, and Cole Patterson. I think those are the three to watch this year. I think Riley O'Rourke has the hot hand right now, is what I'm going to say. Everything he touches turns into a fast time. He's working hard. This is his hometown rodeo. He grew up in Pawhuska. His dad grew up here. His grandpa grew up here. His grandma grew up here. Everybody grew up here. His whole family grew up here. He wants to win this one. This would be just as big as winning Cheyenne Frontier Days for him. Oh, yeah. And he's the hottest young rookie I've seen since Trevor in the steer roping event. That's the only person I can liken Riley O'Rourke to right now with his roping, especially steer roping. I like some of his fundamentals even a little bit better than Trevor's on the steer roping side all day long. You're going to be reading this kid's name in a lot of all-arounds, Cheyenne, Pendleton, everywhere. He ropes calves about as good as he ropes steers. But he's someone everyone's really taking notice of. We haven't seen anybody come along like him in quite some time, Jimbo.
Yeah. Yeah, number 4 in the world. For sure. He's got everybody's attention.
He's done it all the right way. He's put in the work, continues to put in the work. He's got the horsepower. He's got the support at home. I'm looking for big things out of this kid this year. I mean, I hate to put that pressure on somebody. Maybe he ain't going to listen to this, but he's one of the strongest world title contenders right now. And he can rope a short score, long score. He won second or third in this roping last year. Right. Tied one of the fastest steers in the middle of the buck and shoots. How many steers have you seen tied in 12 at the buck and shoots at the Ben Johnson Arena?
I don't know. That's a pretty good run, though, for sure. He ties good, both hands.
Yeah.
Gets around good.
Everything about him, he's a real athlete, and he puts in the work. That's what I like about him. He's a natural winner, but he also puts in the sweat. I mean, he's a deadly combination, Jimbo.
Yep.
He will not go cheap in the Calcutta. I got to pull this back up. I'm sorry, Jimbo. We're about halfway down the list. Billy Good, been to the national finals. I think he's placed here just about every year he's came here. Big, long, tall guy. Can really get down the rope and get his hands on some cattle a little bit quicker than everybody else just because of his physique. He won the only BFI steer open they ever had, the Bob Feist Invitational. They had it over there. Tough roper, historic roping family.
Oh, yeah.
And he married into a historic rodeo family.
Yep.
So
sure.
This guy knows how prestigious this championship would be.
Yep.
Will Edelman, I think he won the Rookie of the Year last year. He's one of the top rookies going up and down the road. He qualified through the top 30 this year. We're looking forward to Will Edelman, Don Ed's boy. I'm going to tell you what, this next guy right here is deadly. Deadly, deadly, deadly. He's one of the roping Okies. Blake Deckard, good guy. He's known as the nicest guy in rodeo.
Nice guy.
Honestly, he's right up there with John Israel being a nice guy. He just super nice guy. He's another great approachable guy. You know, something that a lot of people don't know about him is he hung out with Roy Cooper down there a lot, and learned a lot from Roy Cooper, and he keeps Tufts horses working for him throughout the year.
He was here at the museum last year, Sunday morning. I visited with him a long time. Just a really, like you said, a really nice young guy.
Oh, also, everybody, we're going to have free admission to the museum Sunday morning of the Ben Johnson Memorial Steer Roping. Someone will be here from about 9 o'clock all the way till noon. Then we're all going to go watch the roping. So, free admission to the museum that morning. Blake Deckard, I'm wishing you good luck.
Yes.
Tough roper, always mounted, great horseman, good roper, national finalist. He won a match calf roping in this arena during the Ben Johnson against Tyler Milligan one time when they were both young kids before they were the top ropers in the nation. Jake Clay Cooper, another one of the roping Okies. He made the finals team roping a year or two ago. I think he might have made the finals steer roping. If he hasn't made the final steer roping, he's been knocking on the door. He's another one of them guys. I compare him to Dalton Walker. He's fast. He's one of the best horn ropers in the business because he's a header also, one of the top headers in the business. This Jake Cooper Clay is a bad cat, Jimbo. And he's one of our very own Okies. And he's an Okie to watch because he'll tie some fast cattle. But I'm not expecting him to miss any cattle, so he could be in there in the average because such a good horn roper. I mean, it just makes you think every time you watch him rope a set of horns. I hate to use the word, but pretty. I mean, there's no other word for it. He ropes horns so pretty and so correct. That's his strong suit, and he's fast. Zach Parrington, one of our qualifiers from Claremore. He's an all-around cowboy, bulldogger, team roper, calf roper. He's been here for the last 3 years. He's qualified out of Claremore the last 3 years. This is a prestigious roping that he wants to win, Jimbo. Zach, he's a good guy, pickup man. He's done it all. Brian Garr out of South Dakota. He's been knocking on the door of the national finals. He's been in the top 20 the last 5 years in a row. And he's a top roper out of South Dakota. They're coming from everywhere, Jimbo.
Oh, they do. Of course.
They're coming from everywhere.
Everybody wants to rope to Johnson.
You know, I've been talking about the young guns. This is another guy right here. I got to see him rope for the first time the other day, and he won money. Really impressed me. He won the big rodeo at Liberty Hill a couple weeks ago. I think he won the Andrews roping here a while back. His name's Tyler Waters. I've never watched him rope until the other day. This guy's the real deal. He's been winning a lot of big steer ropings this year. He's in the top 15, Jimbo.
Right.
And he's a good guy and a good roper. I'm looking forward to watching him rope here.
Yeah, I am too. I've been hearing a lot about him. He's on Facebook every once in a while. He'll comment on something, you know.
Well, I don't know him for nothing. He's the real deal. I'm going to say that over and over today, but almost everybody in this field's the real deal.
Oh, yeah.
This guy, he's going to be, if he keeps roping the way he's doing, he's going to be one of those guys in the top 5 pushing for a world championship.
The Ben Johnson don't take dogs, Cody.
Then we got Jesse Stipes. Jesse Stipes is one of the best team ropers from our area. Him and his brother, Casey Stipes. They're famous team ropers from our area. They're some of those roping Okies. They're hard to beat. Jesse's one of the qualifiers, and he's been coming to the Osage ropings out there. Boy, Jimbo, I just keep telling you, some of these team ropers that are converting, the way they rope with the horn loop is just really amazing. This is another one of them guys that has just made an art out of roping horns, and he's a dark horse in this deal, but Jesse Stipes, he can place in a round or he can place in the average. He's been really coming on with this steer rope in the last couple of years. Looking forward to watching him rope. John Clark out of Pecos, Texas. This guy's been knocking on the door of the finals the last 3 or 4 years. I got to meet him last year for the first time. Good guy. He's from a historic rodeo town. They've had the national final steer roping in Pecos. I don't know who's mentoring him, but this guy's just a solid top 20 roper all day long. He's been cashing a lot of checks this year and last year at a lot of big rodeos. Jason Burson, he travels with Vin Fisher. He qualified out of Claremore, and you know, when you're getting mentored by the Fishers, you probably know what you're doing.
Right. When
you're getting to travel beside J. Tom and Vin, they don't want anybody that can't rope in their vehicle with them. They want everybody to be just as good. Iron sharpens iron. That's the way they think. And this guy must rope pretty darn good. He'll be coming here with Vin. And Jason Burson out of West Texas. We're looking forward to watching him rope. J. Tom Fisher, world champion.
Just hot off a big win at Windy Ryan.
He's on a heater.
Yeah, he is.
He's on a heater. Won another prestigious roping, about like the Ben Johnson. They have it down in Fort Worth. The Windy Ryan Memorial Roping, named after, I guess, Windy Ryan. Old saddle maker from that area. I tell you what, it's a prestigious roping. It's a big roping. J. Tom just won it. The next big roping right after it's the Ben Johnson.
Yep.
Boom, boom.
I believe the Ben Johnson, Cody, is the second longest running jackpot of all, behind San Angelo.
Behind San Angelo.
I believe San Angelo started in 52, I think.
Gotcha.
And the Johnson started in 54.
Well, it's 71 years for us,
Yeah.
Jimbo. Wyoming brings us Ryan Rocklitz, top 30 cowboy. Good roper. I've known him for many years. You don't see him outside of Wyoming very often unless it's at Guyman. You know, it's not very far across there from where he lives in Wyoming to Guyman. But this guy ropes good. He just don't get out of his home territory very often. He's right now solidly in the top 30, so he must be winning a bunch of money without going anywhere. So he's winning when he goes.
Yep. Those guys, there's some cowboys in Wyoming.
Well, every now and then we'll have a guy from up north slip down here and just take all the money back up there.
They don't call it the cowboy state for nothing.
Nope. They just can't practice year round like
Right.
they can down here. That's their biggest adversary. And some of their horses get a little big up there.
Yeah.
Tall.
Right.
I don't know. Just kind of different country. But anyway, this guy, I'm looking forward to watching him rope. He's a good guy and a good roper, coming all the way from up there in Wyoming to maybe take home a Ben Johnson championship.
He'd like to.
Martin Poindexter from San Antonio area down there. I think he's a lawyer or something, Poindexter.
Yeah.
But
Have to be.
this guy ropes good. He's in the top 30. Always a tough roper. He's been going for the last 15 years, and he always places in the big roping. He's in the top 30 this year. You just never know, Jimbo. Tough roper.
He wouldn't be
A
here
lot of
if he
these, you can
wasn't
just pull any name out of the hat, and they're
Right.
liable to win this
Right.
deal. He's been in the Texas Circuit Finals multiple times, and that's a tough circuit to make it to the Circuit Finals in, too. Chad Mathis, Arizona Cowboy. Tallest roper in the field, probably. He can get down there. He's in the top 30. This guy's been in the top 20 or 30 the last several years.
He's been around a while. I think
He's been around a
he
while.
ropes in the seniors, doesn't he?
He's a veteran.
Yeah.
He's a veteran. But, you know, as big as he is, Jimbo, he's like 6'5", 6'6", I don't even know. As tall as he is, he only has to take a couple steps to get down there to tie the steer. So he cuts off a lot of time compared to a guy like J. Tom Fisher. You know, he has to hit the ground running because it takes him 6 steps, where it takes Chad just a couple, and he's there to string them. So, you know, on some of these bad cattle, a guy like Chad can get down there and get his hands on them and get them tied and stay in the average, where a lot of guys, it takes them a little bit of time to get down there. Sometimes they can't get there before the steer gets up. So that's one thing I like about Chad, plus he's roping good. He's been placing a lot. He's a senior roper, but he's going against the young bucks
Right.
and staying right with them and winning his fair
Right.
share.
Right.
So I look for big things out of Chad. He could be a guy that places deep in the average or places deep in a go round, either one. Whatever he has to do,
Right.
he's capable of it. Cody Lee.
What else can you say about Cody Lee? How many times he won this sucker?
I'm gonna say 3 times.
Yeah.
3 times. He's one of the only people in the field that has a chance to catch Stroke Webster on the number of times. Rocky Patterson, maybe. Chet Herron, maybe.
Riley O'Rourke, maybe.
Riley O'Rourke's got a long
He's got a long time to
He's
go.
got a long career ahead of him, but nobody has 3. One except for Cody Lee. So he's won it just about as much as anybody. He's one of the top 10 guys has won it. He's won it outside. One year we had, because of weather, we had to move it inside. He won it in there, and then he's won it outside again. So he's won the average at the national finals a couple times. This is one of the best ropers that hasn't won a world championship. He's just been knocking on the door of that world championship. He'll be fast when he needs to, and he'll tie him down when he needs to. He's a true veteran. He's won all around at Cheyenne. There isn't too much he hasn't won. He wants to add a 4th Ben Johnson Memorial Steer Roping to his resume. And he's sure liable to do it, Jimbo.
You might.
I mean, some guys, it's just their arena.
Right.
He seems to be pretty greedy on how many times he's won this thing in this arena. Cody Lee. Kelton McMillan, former Rookie of the Year, top 20 cowboy right now, Jimbo. Tough guy. He's an Okie. Tough roper. He'll be solid in the field. Solid roper in the field. He's been winning a lot of money this year. I think he won the big roping at Andrews the other day, the winter roping. Maybe Odessa is what it was. But he won a big one already. He's already in the top 20, moving up. He's still been winning. Kelton McMillan, tough roper. Tanner Steck out of Nebraska. Top 15 cowboy right now. I think he might be our only cowboy coming out of Nebraska this year. They've had a lot of good ropers out of Nebraska through the years.
Good ropers.
And it's about time they got another one with Tanner Steck, top 15 cowboy, trying to make his first national finals this year, right? And the Ben Johnson's liable to help him.
Yep.
Tough roper right there. Boy, I'm having a hard time picking. I'm still liking Riley. Scott Snedeker.
Yeah. Has he ever won it?
I'd have to go back
like
and
a
look at the
four-time world
archives.
champion.
Four-time world champion. He's won his fair share of money here.
Yeah, I'm sure.
You know, he's went several years without entering this, but now that we've taken it back PRCA, standalone steer roping, all the PRCA guys are entering it. A lot of times they kind of took that weekend off, stay home with their family in between rodeos in the busy season. Now it's a sanctioned rodeo. They're all coming. So,
Right.
Scott Snedeker, he's my second pick on the roping to dominate the roping and win it Sunday. It's just there's not a better all-around steer roping package going up and down the road. He's what Guy Allen was right now. He's getting a little old, but he's just aged like fine wine, Jimbo. He seems to get better the older he gets.
I think he's third in the world.
He hasn't lost a step. He hasn't lost a step. This guy is one of the best in the business, one of the fastest, and one of the most consistent. Complete package. Tony Reyna. He's won the average of the national final steer roping several times, been to the final steer roping. He's been to the national finals calf roping. This guy's a tough roper. He's in the top 15. Tough guy. Tough guy coming out of South Texas down there by Houston. He's just one of them tough, fast South Texas ropers. You know, started off as a calf roper, moved to steer roping, and he's had just as much success, if not more, in the steer roping event than the calf roping event. He's a true legend, and I'm excited to watch him rope here too.
Yep.
He's one of the big. He's won all the biggest steer roping, calf roping. He's been to the NFR in Vegas. He's been to the NFR in Mulvane. He's won the NFR. Tough roper. He's a true veteran. What I like about some of these veteran ropers coming in, a lot of times they won't make a rookie mistake. If they just need to tie that steer down, they're going to do everything in their power to tie that steer down. If they can place on that steer, they're going to do everything in their power to place on that steer. I just look for Tony to rope smart.
Yeah.
Very smart. Mike Chase, I think a 10-time national finalist. He's won the Ben Johnson here. He's placed here. It'd be interesting to see how many times he's entered and how many times he's placed. He's placed here the majority of the times he's entered. Always a solid bet in the Calcutta. Mike Chase.
Yep.
Cole Patterson.
What can you say about Cole Patterson?
What can you say about him?
It hadn't already been said.
He's the reigning world champion. He's
Leading it again.
won this roping. He's won Cheyenne. He's won every big roping. He's leading it again this year. He's got to be one of the favorites to win the Ben Johnson this year, Jimbo.
Got to be.
Got to be. I'm looking at Cole Patterson tying the fast steer, possibly. That third go-round, once some steer's been roped a couple times, he knows what they're doing, knows to start really well. He's liable to tie a wicked fast steer at the Ben Johnson.
Wouldn't be the first time.
Chet Herron, hometown boy. What can you say about Chet, Jimbo?
God, how many times he been in it to the finals? 19 or 20?
Something like that. Doesn't seem possible. I remember
know.
the first time he made it. He rode D. Kyler's horse from right here in Pawhuska, had a big gray horse, got off of Richard Gonzalez, and won the average in Amarillo at the national finals when they had it there.
I remember that. He's won the Johnson twice, hasn't he?
Yep, he's won it twice here. He's won second several times. It'd be interesting to see. It's another one. How many times he's entered and how many times he's placed.
He usually ropes them all and ties them all down. So
this is his arena. I'm gonna say this is Chet Herron's arena right now, if not Cody Lee's. This is probably Chet Herron's arena. He's probably won about as much in this arena as anybody between other jackpots, other rodeos going on, the Ben Johnson Memorial Steer Roping. He gets to practice. I was just out there a minute ago getting stuff ready, and he was already out there practicing in the big arena before the rain comes in.
Yep.
So, looking for big things out of Chet. He's another one. He's kind of started the year off slow, but this is the time of year he heats up.
Right.
Every year.
Yeah.
So, I'm putting him right there with Scott Snedeker and Riley O'Rourke as one of my picks to do good at this year's Ben Johnson Memorial Steer Roping, Jimbo. We're almost to the bottom of the list. Trenton Johnson, tough roper out of Kansas.
Is he the only Kansas guy in it?
Well, we got Rocky Patterson.
Oh, yeah, Patterson. And
Mike Chasin, a roundabout ways from Kansas.
Yeah, and Cole Patterson, too.
Well, he's an Okie now.
I know it, but
Pawnee.
I know it.
Anyway, Trenton Johnson made the national finals last year. He won Pendleton, big rodeo last year. He's riding a really good gray horse he got from a horse trainer named Brad Lund, one of the best horses going up and down the road. And this is another one of those guys that I talk about being a big, tall, strong guy, can get down there and get his hands on them a little bit quicker than some of the others. He ties a lot of cattle down. And, I'm kind of looking for Trenton to do something here this week, too. He's
You've got a lot of favorites.
He's got a good build for the setup that we have here, and his roping style. He won the Pendleton Roundup and some of the big arena ropings.
Right.
His roping style kind of fits this roping right here. And he's tough to beat. He was top 5 in the world last year, Jimbo.
Yep.
Brody Popino. He's going to be rounding it out. Brody Popino, he's an Okie. His dad ropes steers. His mom's a national finalist barrel racer. Brody's won Cheyenne. He's probably been in the finals 8 or 10 times. Just a good, solid roper, good guy, comes from a good rodeo family. Brody's in the top 20 again this year. He's always in the top 20. He's just a consistent steer roper, wins his fair share of money, always goes to the national finals. What do you think he's going to do, Jimbo?
Probably win second or third in average.
He'd be a good bet because he's almost a veteran himself now.
Right.
A lot of these young guns used to be young guns just a few years ago.
I know.
Are turning into veterans. I mean, Vin, Chet, Brody.
I agree.
That's the weekend, Jimbo. That's the weekend.
What a weekend.
What a weekend. I'll just starts on the 12th with the big party. The 13th, Ranch Horse Show, Cattleman's Luncheon, John Israel Cowboy Trade Show, Ranch Rodeo. The next day, Cattleman's Tour, John Israel Trade Show, Women's Ranch Rodeo, Youth Ranch Rodeo. Forey Smith's going to be signing autographs. We got the big Ranch Rodeo that night. Jake Hooker and the Outsiders. We got the Delbert Kyler Memorial Steer Roping. All that one day. And then Sunday, the cherry on top of the Sunday, the Ben Johnson Memorial Steer Roping, the 71st year.
Tell them about that trophy there, Cody. You didn't mention that trophy.
This trophy right here, Jimbo. This came from the very first Ben Johnson Memorial Steer Roping, and it was donated by the guy that ran the Ruidoso Downs, where they have the All-American horse race at.
Gene Hensley.
Gene Hensley. It's the Hensley Trophy.
Right.
You're right. And you had to win it 3 times before you retired it. It traveled around to all the other winners, and there's some real historic names on this. We got Shote Webster the first 2 years, Jim Snively, Clark McIntyre, and Shote Webster again to retire this trophy.
That's when he retired it.
We're just real proud to have it here. We wanted to kind of show it off to everybody.
Very nice.
You don't see big trophies like this anymore at a rodeo.
No.
We got quite a few throughout the museum, old rodeo trophies and Ben Johnson Memorial Steer Roping trophies. But this was the original one. This is the big one. It was a traveling trophy. You had to win it 3 times to retire it.
Yeah.
So Schultz retired the Letter Buck Trophy up in Pendleton, too.
It was probably at my house when I was a year old because Jim won it in 1957, but I don't remember it. But anyway, two of the best horses to ever make a track out there in the arena was Popcorn and Peanuts. Everett Shaw owned Peanuts and Schultz Webster owned Popcorn. And I didn't know this, but I think they came from the 4-6s.
Really?
Yeah. They were by Roan Hancock, and they were out of Beggar Boy mares. So they were more than just half brothers. But Fred Larry bought them as yearlings and brought them up here to the ranch. And Schultz wound up with Popcorn, and Everett Shaw wound up with Peanuts. But I ran across this the other day. This is by Imogene Beals, which was one of Monroe Veach's daughters.
Okay.
And she put this together back in the mid-'50s, just a little snippets,
Yeah.
Just results of rodeos, match rodeo, everything. And here's something from August 1955. She says, the past month seems to have been unlucky for roping horses. Schultz Webster, present world's champion steer roper of Lenapaw, Oklahoma, had the misfortune of losing both of his good steer horses in a freak accident on the morning of July 31st near Grafton, Nebraska, when the trailer hitch broke loose from the car, letting the trailer run wild, and it struck a tree head-on, killing both Popcorn and Roney instantly. Schultz had just won the steer roping event at Cheyenne the day before and was on his way home. A truck brought both horses on home, and they were buried on Schultz Ranch near Lenapaw. But then, just 9 days later, on August 9th, Clark McIntyre and Everett Shaw turned car and trailer over near Laramie, Wyoming, on the way home from Pinedale, Wyoming, steer roping. Everett's horse Peanuts was hospitalized at Fort Collins, Colorado for a week, but Everett drove up after him on the 15th. Clark's horse wasn't injured, but his Chevrolet station wagon was a total wreck. Now, what's the odds of those two horses, they were three-quarter brothers, being in a wreck up there in that country, and Popcorn didn't survive it and Peanuts survived it. But I just thought that's some neat old history that people might be interested in hearing about.
Wonder what they had, an old inline trailer? Whoever got to whipping on them and came off the ball or something.
There's no telling. And then Schultz, a year later, in almost the exact same spot, lost the trailer again. He had Milligan's Roney in there with him this time, and didn't kill him. I mean, it scratched him up a little bit, and but didn't hurt him that bad. And some old farmer come by there and said, didn't know who Schultz was, or from Adam, and he said, "You won't believe it, but some SOB at this same spot lost a trailer last year." And Schultz said, "I'm that same SOB." But I just thought that was odd, and just a little bit of old rodeo history. Popcorn and Peanuts, two of the greatest horses ever, steer horses.
Yeah, I've heard their name many a time, Jimbo.
Yeah, and who'd have thought they came from the 4-6s?
I never would have thought
that. I didn't know that.
I never knew where they came from.
Yeah, they were out of Roan Hancock, and he was owned by the 4-6s that time. And I think Fred Larry ended up buying him, I think. But that's just some old rodeo horse history.
Well, that Fred Lowry place, there's a lot of rodeo history in there, honestly.
Right.
A lot of people don't think about it probably these days, but
I know.
A lot of guys came.
Yeah.
He must have been a heck of a roping teacher.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think I read a deal, the first roping dummy someone saw was one that Fred Lowry had built at his house.
And then I told you about the time when he had that match roping here at Puska with my grandfather, and he showed up with nylon ropes, and those are the first nylon ropes anybody'd ever seen. It's right after World War II.
Yeah. And I tell you what, I swung one of your old grandpa's nylon ropes the other day, and it still feels good.
Oh, yeah? Yeah.
It still feels like, dang, I could use this thing today.
Yeah. Yeah,
feels better than the new ropes.
All that stretch and everything. Those little big steers they'd hit in soft ground, and they'd just stop.
Yeah.
And the horse would keep running, and then hear that stretch would come out of the rope, and hear that steer would come.
Yeah, I've seen that happen before. Some team ropers were trying to rope with some regular team ropes a while back, tying steers down.
Yeah.
And it's just like you said, the steer looks like it just stays put in the ground, and the rope just keeps getting longer with the horse locking. It's the craziest thing you'll ever see. Well, everybody get over here and see us. Don't forget, the museum's going to be open on Father's Day, free for everybody to come in and enjoy the museum. Maybe we can talk Jimbo into coming out that morning. Maybe not. I don't know. He probably wants to go to the church service. But Come see us. It's going to be a great weekend. It just keeps getting bigger and better. If you can't find a place to stay, we got Bartlesville 30 miles down the road. If you got a camper trailer or something, we got 200 hookups at the fairgrounds. So it's just going to be a great time. Also, Anna runs the museum for us here, and she wanted us to mention, if you want to be a part of the Ben Johnson Days next year, get a hold of the museum. Anna will help you out if you want to be a sponsor. Help us bring this world-class Western event to everybody. And Jimbo and I were real bad sometimes about calling people and scheduling a podcast. So if you ever have anybody that you're wanting someone to be on our podcast, and maybe we hadn't even thought about them or tried to get their number yet, call the museum here, give your number to Anna, and she'll get it lined out, and we'll get one scheduled in. We just want to keep this old history alive, Jimbo.
For sure. Absolutely.
We've talked to so many guys that are getting voted to go in the Cowboy Hall of Fame, so many that's part of the Cowboy Hall of Fame, so many that's no longer with us anymore.
I know it, isn't that sad?
And the only memory we have left of them is
that podcast.
Their saddles and buckles at their house and our podcast that we recorded with them, because most of them didn't even know what a podcast was.
I know.
Most of these old guys, they ask us, it's starting to get where they maybe know a little bit more about it.
Right.
But when we first started these several years ago, these old guys would be really worried about what was going on, because they didn't even know what a podcast was.
I know.
But and they've used several of these in different people's funerals and things. So how many times have you heard someone say at their grandpa's funeral, boy, I wish I'd just stuck a tape recorder under that rocking chair and just let it play?
Yeah.
That's what we're doing right here,
basically.
pretty much. So,
and a lot of those grandkids and stuff, it just really makes me feel good when I read something on Facebook, a comment, and they'll say, well, that was my papa. I didn't know he did all that stuff.
Yeah.
You know, that's so cool.
That's right. Their great-grandkids and their great-great-grandkids are going to be able to hear their voice and their stories without having them second-handed from their aunts and uncles and things like that. You know, there's so many reasons that we do this, but that's one of the main reasons I feel like, is just to just keep this old history alive, Jimbo.
Right.
I don't want people to forget about them, because rodeo's turning into quite the sport nowadays.
Right.
But it started somewhere.
Right.
And that's the guys we're interested in.
Right, for sure.
All right. We got anything else for them?
No, you about covered it. Man, what a weekend.
Felt like I talked till I was blue in the face today, Jimbo.
Yeah.
You're acting like that one little kid we were talking about earlier, not saying anything today.
Well, you were doing a good job talking about all those ropers. And you know them all, or know of them better than I do.
Yeah, I guess we were going off the 1954 list. You'd be
telling
me
who
the picks were on that,
good.
wouldn't you? It's going to be a good roping. It's tradition. It's prestigious. And it's Father's Day weekend right here. Come see us.
Right.
All right. We'll see everybody next week. Or first and third Thursdays.
Right.
First and third Thursdays now. That's when new
Which
episodes
will be
come
this
out.
week.
It's coming this week.
Yeah.
All right. See y'all.
Later.